Welcome to Chaotic Nerdtral. On this week's episode, we're going to go really meta and do a podcast episodes against podcasts. I'm Sarah.
Not like Facebook meta.
I was just going to say
Sam.
that. We are not associated with that.
They can't take that word away from me.
And I'm Jennie.
We're not that kind of meta. We're just like being very, deep right now.
No, you can't have a podcast without liking podcasts.
True.
I'm pretty sure that's
I think
a rule.
that's true, maybe.
So,
right?
And since our podcast encompasses all that's nerd, there are a lot of nerdy podcasts out there.
true,
Yes.
true facts.
I've listened to one about bees before, okay?
About bees. Oh, okay.
Bees, yeah.
I thought you were going to say about beans.
You know, I feel like I'd probably listen to that, too.
I don't know.
If you have the right hosts,
Yeah.
I'd listen to about darn anything.
Yep, this is true.
Maybe.
No, we just wanted to take a second to talk about some of our favorite podcasts, give you some recommendations of things to listen to that are not us, that are actually a lot better than us.
Very professional, like upscale
Yes.
compared to this. Definitely like, an upgrade in status.
It's okay to be self-aware. Who wants to go first?
I guess I can go first.
Go for it.
You should.
Okay. So, the first one, and probably my favorite, it's called Behind the Bastards.
Classic.
Yes. The guy who does it, his name's Robert Evans. He's actually a conflict journalist. And it pretty much is, I would say, dark humor podcast, just kind of discussing the worst humans in all of history. It's currently, like, the newest episode right now is talking about the Facebook papers that were just released.
So messed up. Just listen to those
just
episodes.
how fucked up Facebook is. We honestly, and I know it's a problem, we all need to fucking get off Facebook. It's awful. I mean, I'm telling you, everyone needs to listen to this episode. They have single-handedly caused ethnic cleansing.
Yeah, I was telling Sarah how we're doing this at work right now, and
yeah,
like,
they
I
know
just
that they
listened to
have
this.
like instilled divide. Like, our country would not be the
Yeah.
way it is right now if it was not for fucking Facebook.
Yeah. So that's actually something we're doing at work. I was talking to Sarah about this the other day. Is we're like looking at Facebook activity and ethnic conflict deaths because
it's
tied to
insane.
it.
Was it Myanmar?
That one's
that
bad.
They had the ethnic cleansing. That was all started on Facebook and all the Facebook.
There's like a
groups and everything.
dictator, like regional leader in India or something too. Like there's they like incite conflict.
Yeah. Well,
using
even
Facebook. Yeah.
here locally, like the whole Kyle Rittenhouse shit or whatever, there was all these like militia Facebook groups that were during all the riots and stuff that were organizing to come here, and look what fucking happened, But I really got into this because prior to me knowing this podcast existed, I'm one of those weird people where I do nothing but watch documentaries, especially ones on like political conflicts and things like that, and I thought it was just me that liked those things, so I would talk to other people about it. They'd be like, there's something wrong with you. But then I found that there's actually a podcast that like is
It's just
about
all
all
really
the stuff that I
dark
love,
shit, yeah.
which is dark. And I mean, honestly, after you listen to it, you need to listen to something funny or do something funny. I don't know how Robert like goes about his daily existence. I'm sure there's lots of drugs but he's funny, but he gets to the point, and he's so thorough, and it's just really good at telling the truth. And he's not like one side or another. He's just like tells it as it is.
They're all like pretty long, like two-siders, like an hour each.
Yep.
But
and
like
usually invites somebody on to tell them about like a terrible story. I mean, it started out kind of funny, like what was it, farting Hitler or something like that. Just like weird things that different dictators would do.
Oh, like funny things,
like Saddam, like
sex
Saddam Hussein had like
yeah.
had like, I don't know, like naughty porn or manga, I can't remember, but
since
so much fucking
stuff,
shit has happened recently, his episodes have become a lot more related to recent events. So yeah, that's probably my favorite podcast. The next one is called Stuff They Don't Want You to Know.
That was good too,
the hosts are Ben, Matt, and Noel, and so they're kind of like a podcast about different like conspiracy theories, but they also talk about kind of relevant events as well. But what I like about them is it's not like crazy fucking conspiracy theories, like, the dumb shit that's going around right now about like Lizardmen, about Astroworld, like not that kind dumb stuff. It's like they take conspiracy theories like JFK and look at it like with a critical lens, and talk about it, and I love that. So, yeah, and that's actually, speaking of JFK, that's what they're currently doing right now, is really deep diving into JFK and looking at all the sides.
I thought we were going to say the JFK thing where, like, he's supposed to, like, JFK Jr. is supposed to be revived, like,
no,
show up at a Trump rally. Zeitgeist.
Shot him in the head, like, who helped Harvey Lee Oswald, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much shit going around. But what I really liked about them is they're always kind of ahead of, like, what's going on. Like, they actually did a podcast about Epstein years before the whole Epstein shit happened, just about how shitty of a person he was. So
yeah,
I don't know, I feel like all my podcasts have a theme. This one, so the last one is the newest one I've been listening to, which I really like. As you guys know, when I play video games, I love lore. I love all the lore about video games, especially WoW, especially Elder Scrolls. So I'm currently listening to Elder Scrolls Lorecast. And it's really, really good if you like Elder Scrolls. The host is Tom Robots. Now he's got another guy, Lotus of Doom, on there. And they pretty much, what I like is Elder Scrolls has so much lore. It can just boggle your mind and hurt your brain. So they do it in these nice little neat episodes. And they don't do like a super deep dive, because there's like other podcasts that do like crazy deep dives that just, it's too much. I don't understand Elder Scrolls that much. But like currently they're revisiting Skyrim right now and kind of retelling the story since, it's the 10th anniversary. But it's really cool because he also has his own guild on Elder Scrolls Online. So he also, in the whole group is like super awesome. So you go on the podcast, you listen to all this kind of stuff, which also kind of keeps you up to date with Elder Scrolls Online as well. And then you get to hang out with them in the guild, and you can talk to them on Discord. It's really awesome, and it's a safe place for people. They're not about that, just that hateful gaming stuff that happens. So those are my top 3. I have so many others, but those are the ones that I currently listen to a lot right now. Well, except for the McElroy ones. Should I take it away with one of them right now?
Which is like a laundry list of McElroy podcasts.
Which one am I mostly listening to? I would say, honestly, My Brother, and Me. So the McElroys, how do you even explain them?
They're the first family in podcasting.
Yes.
There's the 3 McElroy brothers, and their most popular podcast, I think, still is Mabim Bam, My Brother, and Me. It's an advice show, comedy show.
So it's Travis Griffin and Justin on there. But then their dad joins along for the Adventure Zone, which is like them playing D&D-esque tabletop games, but it just turns into just its own world, and it's just awesome. But no, right now I'm listening to My Brother, and Me a lot, which is pretty much they take like questions off of, it used to be, was it Yahoo Answers, which is now
Yahoo
gone.
Answers.
So now I'm not sure where they're getting it now, but they just try to like,
they have like write-ins and stuff,
they just
too.
try to like solve people's problems just in horribly funny ways, and just be
funny and topical.
Yes, and it's funny, and it's a really good mouth cleanser after being really depressed from listening to Behind the Bastards.
Oh yeah,
so
a lot more bubblegum.
Yeah, so I usually listen to that after Behind
afterwards,
the Bastards,
just to like be less sad.
Yeah, just because I am laughing out loud in my car listening to them. It's so funny. So I feel like if like you're having a really shitty time right now, that's a podcast you really need to listen to, is My Brother, and Me. Also, I guess you would call it Mabim Bam. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Mabim Bam.
Yeah, so those are my main ones.
Yeah, their whole family really, they have like so many different podcasts because like the 3 brothers, like, each then went off to host like very specific podcasts with their like partners. So like Travis and his wife have one called Schmanners. It's about like weird like etiquette stuff. Justin and Sydney have a medical comedy,
Sawbones, which is also my favorite, but I can't list them all. Yeah, for Sawbones, Sydney, who's a doctor, tells Justin, who is not in the medical field, about specific medical ailments, and it's very hilarious. And they actually have their own book out.
And then Griffin and his wife Rachel have one called Wonderful, where they just kind of like take an episode to talk about something like weird and cool that they're enjoying or that they like. And that's like a pretty like easy to consume podcast too. But from an offshoot from the McElroy brothers, one that I've been listening to a lot lately is called The Besties, and that's Griffin and Justin McElroy with Chris and Russ, who I think are from Polygon, and they talk about just what they're playing. It's like they call it like a book club for video games.
Too. I thought it was just Griffin.
Yeah, Justin Griffin. Okay. Well, and then like two, because Justin Griffin used to be, founders of Polygon, so they have two friends like from Polygon, and they just do just like a video game book club. They talk about like indie stuff that I hadn't heard of. I got turned on to a lot of really cool games through them, and then they'll talk about like whatever big,
I have one saved right now. I think they talk about Shin Megami, I want to say. I think it's one of their newest ones that comes out.
I'm not great about like keeping up on my podcasts. I'll like let them go for a really long time, let them collect, and then I'll just like binge out. So like I'm really behind on all my podcasts. I used to be
like prior to 2020, I used to be super into murder podcasts, but I legit just can't do it anymore. Like
that was one of my picks is like for murder. The only one I can listen to that's dark because I have a hard time with dark stuff. Is My Favorite Murder, just because it's like the lightest version.
Because they're a little bit lighter, because I also listened to Last Podcast on the Left, but again, after...
I've heard that one's a little more rough. They are,
but it's so good, but after the past few years I can't do murder anymore. I don't need more dark.
Even, so for My Favorite Murder, it's these two girls, and they're like very Cali, and they're funny, and they like... They don't, like, make light of murder. I mean, they obviously treat it with the sort of sensitivity you should, but, like, they also acknowledge that, like, how weird our fascination is with, like, serial killers, and, like, how that's kind of funny, and they approach it in a really funny way. But I had to stop listening to it when, like, my boyfriend was out of town, because it was creepy.
Yeah, I tried listening to it. I don't remember why I didn't, like, add it to my list. I just think it didn't, like, capture me enough. But I think it's also because, like Jenny said, I have so many murder things, and, like... kind of capped.
That's my only murder
thing. So
thing.
I'm kind of like, that one kind of falls to the wayside for me, I think. Because I have so much going on. But they're fun, though. I like the hosts.
Yeah. Really loved The Adventure Zone from the McElroys. Balance was their first arc, and I loved that. That was one of like my favorite pieces of media. Liked all the other ones. I'm not caught up on their most recent one.
I've started listening to it. Yeah, it's just unfortunately there's too many things going on right now, but it's really good. It's underwater. And it's really fun, and I've been enjoying it so far. It's called Ethersea.
And then they also, speaking of balance stuff, they have like a new balance arc that just came out with like a DM that I'm not familiar with.
I'm not sure I don't know who she is.
Yeah, I gotta look into it. I just like glanced at it. I have to
say my one complaint, which Sam knows my complaint, and I'm very proud that she changed this in the second episode. But she had blue lipstick on, and I'm sorry, guys. I hate blue lipstick. It's just so...
Really?
Don't know.
This is so specific.
It's so... No. Oh. It's unnerving to me. So I had a really hard time watching it. I actually listened to it because I could not look at the blue lipstick. But then she didn't have it in the next episode, and that was perfectly fine. But I don't know what it is about blue lipstick. Sam, okay, like, we were in Chicago,
she made me take it
Sam
off my
came
face.
out wearing it. I said, looks like you sucked a Smurf stick. I cannot look at this.
Oh my God, Jennifer!
Oh my God, you look so cute. I was like, feeling myself. Like,
no,
really
yeah,
cool.
everyone
and
was
she's
like,
no,
you look so
like
good,
shit.
and I'm just like, wipe that shit off.
She made me take it off.
With me.
Oh my God.
Like purple lipstick, hot pink, fine. Blue, I don't know what the fuck is wrong.
It matched
with me.
my eyes. It was beautiful.
I do not like it. But besides the blue lipstick, which is such a strange thing to not like, she's really good. And like I said, I had no problems listening to it
the fucking blue
without
lipstick.
looking. Yeah,
but no, the second lipstick deal breaker.
The second one I watched video wise, it was perfectly
I really like
fine.
that.
I don't know. I don't understand myself. So
if I'm ever mad at Jenny and want her to get away from me, I'm just gonna whip out my blue lipstick and put it on.
Yes,
just put it on very slowly.
And just like look her dead in the eye.
It's blue lipstick is
just keep
going
going
to my hate for like getting syrup on my clothes, because then I know my clothes are gonna be sticky
all
all day long.
No,
yes.
I don't.
That's how it makes me feel.
There's no connection to be made.
That's how it makes me feel, though. It's just unnerving when I see it. I don't know why.
back to the topic at hand.
Anyways, but Imbalance is really good, and I've really been enjoying it.
Okay, I gotta sit down and watch that.
She really gets and I feel bad I don't remember what her name is. I should have looked it up. I didn't think we were going to be talking about this, but she really sets the mood very well. She's a world builder.
I'll look into it. Last but not least, a podcast I really, really enjoy, and I'm super far behind on it, is called Reply All.
Mm-hmm.
It's by Gimlet Media. It's got a weird format. So they do a couple different like episode formats. They do human interest pieces that usually have something to do with the internet, like at its core. And then they also have like some later episodes where they do like try to explain like meme stuff on Twitter to like one of their older hosts, which is always pretty funny. Meme? No, like meme as in like it's meme-ist.
Oh,
like,
I'm like, I thought it was
memes.
See, I thought of Mimi I thought of Mimi, that anime girl with the pink, like with her boobs bouncing around on YouTube.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Meme-like. Meme-ish.
Meme-esque.
Like, God, I pronounce everything wrong.
Yeah, it's Mimi.
No.
We're gonna call them memes from now on.
It's been Mimi this whole time, and you've been wrong.
You don't know what? You've been calling them memes? Excuse me? Can you say that again?
No, that's not what they're called.
Is wrong.
Memes. Okay. No, it's memes.
They explain meme topics to their older co-hosts. That's really funny. That format's called Yes, Yes, No. And then Yes, Yes, No is really good.
That one I do enjoy. Some, like, Reply All, I feel like some of the episodes are really good. They're relevant to me, and other ones I'm just
if it's a human interest story that you are not interested in, then they're going to go deep into it, and you're not going to be interested into it. So those you have to really be interested in the topic.
There was a topic, I can't remember, that had nothing to do with me, but it was just told so well. I was just like, yeah, I'll listen to this.
Yeah, some of them are just like, anytime they approach a topic, they're going to go all in and like do all the research and approach it in like this very journalistic way. So, and then their last format for videos is called like Super Tech Support, where they try to solve like really weird tech support issues. Those are probably my favorite. There was one episode about like the Phantom Caller, where they basically like uncovered this whole secret
I think that was the last one I listened to.
Yeah. It was like this secret
like
corrupt...
the 1-800 numbers or something?
Yeah, they were like calling like toll free and like scraping like pennies off of like these like basically like just getting a penny for every call on. It's so hard to explain, like with like towers that they owned, and they were basically making millions of dollars just calling people and having like nothing but random nonsense.
Yeah, because they were saying
it was super fascinating.
Wasn't there like this certain like there was like a doctor's office that people would call and would go to, like what sounded like a sex hotline or something, or.
No, it was the lady who started the call, who called Super Tech Support, was basically getting
then this is a different
calls.
This is a different episode of but they did it.
It was super interesting.
So this one was about how people like buy up these 1-800 numbers or whatever, but what the problem is, I guess like certain like doctors' offices and stuff use them as for like triage calls at night, but don't realize like the number's wrong or something. It was transferring people who are trying to get hold of their doctor to like a sex like
oh.
Yeah, it was. And so
exactly
I thought that was a Phantom Caller one, but that one was also really good. So there are, they do good deep dives.
So those are my recommendations.
Nice.
What you got for us, Sam?
Oh God, I guess I'll start. I don't know.
I know. I had to really like.
It depends on my mood, I guess.
Throw things out. I have so many.
I'm gonna throw this one out there because I can't not recommend this podcast. Of course, I recommend it to everybody. 420 Day.
Yes.
Fiance.
Yes.
So 420, like 420 Day Fiance. Okay.
It's the best.
This is Miles Gray and Sophia Alexandra, and they're hilarious.
Which deep cut Sophia's been on Behind the Bastards.
She's been on Behind the Bastards. So has Miles. I'll talk about Miles in another podcast because I'm pretty much obsessed with everything they do.
Yeah.
Sophia also does another podcast called Private Parts Unknown, which is like a sexual podcast, which is like two women like talking to like women who cheat and why they cheat, women who are sex workers and like why they do, like, so they like talk to all these people. It's very like sex positive. That one didn't make my list, but I'm gonna mention it because she's also on that. But anyways, 420 Day Fiance. I like trash.
Yeah.
I eat trash for breakfast, lunch, and
wears
dinner.
Trash lipstick.
I wear trash blue lipstick. When I was homesick as a child, I would watch Jerry Springer. So I like the trash. Okay, so I watch trash television in the background when I'm working. Great, love it. So 90 Day Fiancé was one of my favorites, and this podcast started out as them just reviewing exclusively that show. So they get like stoned, go on Twitch, like it's this whole like live event at 4:20. That's the time it's at. Like everybody gets on Twitch and like we're all here.
So
they
funny.
call their fans the K1s because the people that come over from other countries to America to get married get a K1 visa, and they have to get married in 90 days. So that's the premise of this trash show. So the foreigners come over here to marry an American. They have 90 days to get married on their K1 visa. And it's just about the shit show. So, of course, it's like nasty men that want to get girls from the Philippines that are like, barely legal. The sad men that just like literally can't get a date anywhere else because they're so socially awkward. But like women are desperate and like maybe marry them and tolerate them for a while.
So sad.
So it's like the most fucked up shit. And there's so many spin-offs, okay? So they don't only review for 20 Day Fiancé, they do like Married at First Sight.
Which is my love, and so I listen to them when it's Married at First Sight.
So Married at First Sight is when like
so
they match them up and like they like based off their bullshit like
oh my
sociology and like psychology and whatever algorithms, they marry them. But anyways, they get high on Twitch. It's very interactive, fun. Like, and honestly, the community's great, very supportive. Sometimes it actually gets very deep and dark. Like, we get very personal on the podcast and stuff while we're, like, making fun of this trash show. And, like, they're just chilling. But, like, for example, they have one of their recent episodes is called I Graduated Ranch from Shrimp's Tender University. And it was called that because they got so high, and there's, like, this part where this girl is taking her fiance to the embassy to get his visa. And she's, like, drilling him, right? Like, what's my favorite food? And, like, he's sleeping, and he, like, wakes up, and she's like, you're not even listening to me. What is my favorite food? And he's like, oh, no, shrimps. He's like, no, it's chicken tender. She's, like, yelling at him. So it's, like, and then she was asking what her favorite, like, sauce was. So it was, like, this whole joke, like, because ranch is her favorite. It's, like, then all of a sudden it's like I graduated ranch from Shrimp's Tender somehow because he had to like get through this university exam by knowing these like test result answers. It just gets wild.
I honestly give them props for doing an entire podcast
funny.
Super stoned because I would immediately forget what I was doing.
Sometimes, because sometimes it gets off track and they're like, where were we? And then they have notes,
I'd be like, well, I completely forgot.
Well, because she takes on, like, a story of its own. So, I don't know if you've ever seen, like, Darcy and Stacy. I combine them, Darcy and Stacy.
Are those the blonde ones?
Yeah, the blonde ones.
We watched that one
So,
day?
they're watching that show now, and, like, Darcy's new boyfriend looks like a vampire, so they, like, reenact the show as if they're in, like, Transylvania and shit. And it's so funny. It's so fucking funny. But anyways, that's my favorite of all time. Highly recommend it. They're on twitch.tv/420dayfiance or like 420 Day Fiance the podcast. Wonderful.
Because I think they usually do it on Thursdays, right?
They do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think, but they switch it up sometimes.
And I'm usually working at 4:20.
Yeah, so they live stream twice a week. So they watch like 2 shitty shows at a time. They actually let their audience like vote on what shows to watch next if it's not, the 90 Day Fiance staple because they're like doing something else. But it's very interactive, very fun. It's funny because it's like trash, but then it's also smart people analyzing it and being like, what the fuck is going on, But, good show. / podcast. You don't have to watch it live. It's a podcast, obviously. But, it's obviously if you want to be there live, it's kind of like even adds to it even more. Then the Daily Zeitgeist is number 2, probably. I listen to this every day, obviously, daily.
I didn't put this one on because Sam did.
Yeah, so this is Miles Gray and...
I do not know this one.
This one's really good.
Miles Gray, and I'm horrible. I always forget the other guy's name. Jack O'Brien. I was like, I couldn't remember his last name. Jack O'Brien. And he used to work at, like, Cracked, right?
I think most of them
did,
until they got fucked over.
Yeah, so they, like... wake up at the butt crack of dawn, and, like, every morning when I'm driving into work,
Yes.
like, the news is already out, and, like, they review the news, and, like, sometimes they're very funny about it, right? And it's just, like, funny, but also it's, like, they'll talk about serious stuff through that lens, and, like, Miles is there, and he's hilarious. I love him. Jack's great, too.
They're doing this every
They
day?
do it every day.
And I mean,
That
it's
is
like
so much work.
Like, like you said, like at 8:00, it's like out. I'm like, what the fuck? What time do they wake up and do this?
Yeah, like probably
Yeah.
4 a.m., 3 a.m.
Just from, like, an editing standpoint, I can't even
I think
imagine.
that when they have, like, a live, like, almost, not, like, live, but somebody, like, like, their editor sitting there with them, like, kind of prepared to, like,
I'm
get
sure.
it out. But they
must.
also do updates in the afternoon of what's trending on Twitter.
Yes, and those are like little 20-minute episodes.
Yeah. So, like, last time it was all
if you don't have time to
Rittenhouse.
listen to like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Also, they have Weekly Zeitgeist that summarizes everything. So you could just do it weekly. They have the Weekly Zeitgeist of, like, the, week's highlights. They always have guests on, but it's always Miles and Jack, for the most part, unless, they're being subbed. But great. They do, I mean, it's just, like, the news. It's, like, it's not that it's exciting, I know, but it's what's going on, and they do a really good job of, like, telling you what's important, like, around America, and obviously they're, like, left-leaning, but, that's fine with me, so.
Probably fine with
Yeah,
most of
so
our
they're
listeners too,
really
considering.
funny, too. Oh, and they're really funny because they still do stuff, like, that reveals things about them, like, a recent, like, Google search, and, like, they laugh about it, or, like, what's overrated, so, like, what's underrated and overrated, so they do that, like, every day, and, like, it's just fun. For my third one, I guess, Noble Blood.
Yes, I really like Noble
So
Blood,
this
too.
Dana
God,
Schwartz.
I listen to
I don't
way
know
too
this one
many
either.
podcasts.
Dana Schwartz, she's an author.
What does she write that I don't...
She does, like, historical dramas, I think. I think she just released a new book.
She's
but
not the one that like, did the attack.
I've never
like,
read her stuff, to be honest. I've only
Okay.
ever listened to her through this. But I know she just released a book. But, so she does, like, important historical figures, obviously royalty, and their stories. And it's, like, they're true stories, too. So she'll, like, talk about, like, this is what, they say about, what was her name? What's that crazy lady? Oh, Bathory.
Oh, Elizabeth Bathory.
Yeah, about how
So
that's
there's
all
a lot of
bullshit.
crazy ladies.
Elizabeth Bathory, about how, like,
Yeah.
how, like, oh, that's, like, everybody knows her as this crazy murderer, but actually she was
But
just,
she
like,
wasn't.
a powerful woman, and,
Yeah.
like, everybody, like, well, the men in power fucking hated her, so they made up all this, like, shit to, like, take away her power, make her seem
typical.
crazy, right? So,
And she did one, like, on all
Mhm.
of Henry the Eighth? Henry
yeah,
VIII's wives. Yeah.
So she does lots of historical figures, and, like, from all over, too, like, ones I've never even heard of, like, it's really cool, so she does those, once a week, probably, I think?
Yeah,
What was the name of the podcast?
Noble Blood.
Noble Blood.
That's really
Noble
good.
Blood.
If you're
It's
into, like,
really
fantasy
good.
stuff, I don't know, I feel like you'd really like it.
No, it's
Yeah,
great.
I just, like, caught up on all of it, and now I haven't listened to it for a while, just because
I haven't listened to the newest two yet. So Daria Saltykova, the serial killer in 18th century Russia, is
I
one of
don't
the
know
newer
that
ones.
one.
And the Tiger of
Ooh.
Mysore, the Tipu Sultan in the 1700s.
No.
I haven't, yeah. But yeah, Bathory was in October, and I was like, oh, that one was really good. But
I think that was the last one I listened to. I want to
Yeah. No, there's, like, really, I don't know. There's a lot of episodes. I don't know, she's great. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, man. Adding a couple to my own
Yeah.
list.
I guess honorable mentions, Unobscured by...
Oh, I like Unobscured.
Yeah, that's Aaron Mankey. He does, like, a different theme every season. The first one was Salem. The second one was, like, what is that, like, the Paul mystery shit? What do you call that? What's...
Oh, the,
Something-ism,
it's
whatever.
like,
not
mysticism.
mysticism. No, spirit.
Yes,
Spirit.
You know that word.
That one.
Spirit.
That thing.
Spiritualism.
Spiritualism.
Yeah, spiritualism.
Yes, the second
yes.
season of
Okay.
spiritualism, and the third reason is the third one is the third one's Rasputin.
Oh yeah.
So
I
it's
haven't listened
been-
to that
yeah.
one yet. Oh,
Ooh, it's
God,
like
here we
pretty
go.
good
More
because
to
it's like
listen to.
it's a lot more about him than like you usually hear, you know.
Yeah.
Because I knew a lot about the family, obviously, because I've like studied that in depth in the past, but like I haven't like seen.
Well, I've
too
been
much
really
about him.
interested in it, so I've read a lot about him, so it'll be interesting here.
Is that the guy who killed Anastasia?
It's a guy that, like, influenced the family and, like, kind of helped bring, you know, well, they...
Kind of like, you know, I mean, kind of like, you know, how, like, the Reagans had a psychic tell them what to do. And that's why everything's so horrible.
Yeah, like Lincoln's astrologer.
He's pretty much like that to the Romanov, right? The Romanov family.
Yeah, like they really had kind of they had a lot of crises going on, and they like needed help.
Didn't he like fuck a lot of ladies too?
Mm-hmm, yeah,
that's what I heard. Yeah,
he fucked a lot of ladies. They accused like the Empress of like banging him too. Who knows if that's true?
Yeah,
but
fair.
No, like they really desperately needed help, and he was like their holy guide. But everybody else was like, this guy's like nuts.
Yes,
like but they were desperate.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of like other.
It still wasn't.
Figures.
It's crazy that wasn't that long ago. They just like off the whole royal family.
What was that like 19?
It's like early 1900s.
10, 12.
I think it was maybe a little after 12.
I suppose so, huh?
When all that
feels like that was like
it
a really long time.
Well, because
ago.
it kind of coincided with World War I, didn't it? And people were really
I think
mad
it was after
about
World War
how.
I.
Well, yeah, because people were really mad about how Russia got their asses kicked or whatever. Yeah.
Well, Russia didn't get any like concessions and got like royally fucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were pretty mad about that. That was like one of the reasons, one of the many. But that's crazy. There's a whole great.
Are you telling me that there wasn't a spooky talking bat?
I'm sorry.
There's not. There's no Bartok.
The real true stories aren't as cool, Sarah. We should do an Anastasia episode. I fucking love Anastasia.
I loved Anastasia. Absolutely loved it.
That's like one of my faves of all time. But yeah, no.
Same.
That's because Carrie Fisher ghostwrote that.
Really?
Oh, really?
Oh, I did not
Yeah,
know
Carrie
that.
Fisher was one of the script actors on Anastasia.
Wow. You guys need to see the musical also.
I've heard it's good.
Oh, yeah.
Much more political tone, but I mean, I feel that's appropriate.
Is the music still good?
Yeah, it's still very. A lot of the songs are actually the same, or like more like elaborate versions of what they did, or they changed the words to
they
make
have
them.
Once Upon a December.
Which
good.
Is
okay, I was gonna say they can't
get rid of that.
You can't change the music.
That's the star of the show.
That
always.
sold the movie.
Yeah, it's the star of the show.
Yeah.
No, but they even added like some good originals in there, obviously, since the whole thing's a musical. But it was really good, really, really good.
I guess my honorable mention. There's so many. Let me look through my phone.
She's like, let me pull it up.
I'm just God. There's so many, and I have to just pick one.
I'll give my quick rapid
good.
fire. Hey Riddle Riddle is just a funny little basically like improvs around riddles. That one's pretty good. And then if you're familiar with Rooster Teeth and their whole shebang, Jack Pattillo and Jeff Ramsey from Rooster Teeth / Achievement Hunter have a new podcast called Annual Pass. That's all about theme parks, especially Disney, and they just talk about like specific rides and like park history and stuff like that. Those would be my honorable mentions.
I guess I'll just have one. So Hysteria 51, which is on the same cuff as Stuff They Don't Want You to Know.
Mm-hmm.
But they discuss more like weird, just pretty much the world of the weird. But it actually, like, the first episode started out, so the hosts are John and Brent, and this Seabot that apparently Brent made in his basement to help with the podcast. He just wants to destroy the world. So it's a comedy. It's a comedy sci-fi conspiracy show, but like it's so funny. But they actually
that's pretty radical.
But what I really like, they must have gotten in trouble or something. I don't know. But they used to start off the episodes by drinking beers and like describing their beer and how they liked it, and then after they drank a little bit, then they would like do the podcast, and it's just really good. I think the most current one they're talking about the world of monsters and stuff, but it's just always just a lot of funny stuff. I really like them. It's kind of like stuff you don't want you to know, stuff they don't want you to know, but with a little bit more humor. And psychotic robots.
I'm always down for psychotic robots.
Yes, who isn't? I mean,
On that note, probably a good place to end it. Thanks for coming in and listening to us talk about the stuff we love. Hope you found some good recs to add to your podcast repertoire.
Yeah, tell us what you like.
Yeah, please.
I'm always looking for more.
Yeah, let us know what we missed and what you would recommend. hit us up on our socials. We're Chaotic Nerdtral on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Our intro is provided by the ever interesting Noodle. You can find their band on Instagram at Arcade Mode NKE or on Facebook as Arcade Mode Band. We'll let you know when new episodes are coming out. It's good to be back, and hopefully we're back into the recording rhythm again.
Yep, sorry life happened.
Yeah, it took a little break.
As you.
Yeah.
So we'll see you in a week or two. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.